March is a busy month in the garden. Signs of spring are everywhere, but the heat will be here soon. I'll walk you through the key garden task for March. Follow along on this free printable checklist from my website, growinginthegarden.com. I'm Angela from Growing in the Garden. My garden's in Mesa, Arizona. I want to help you succeed, even if you're gardening in tough conditions. One of the first things I do in March is take care of pruning. After the risk of frost has passed is the best time to clean things up. If you need to prune citrus, now's the time. For citrus, don't go overboard. You need to keep some shade on the trunk. Focus on removing dead, damaged, or crossing branches. One of the biggest pruning mistakes? Cutting citrus trees too aggressively. Don't prune the lower branches. They protect the bark on the trunk. As you look around your landscape, if you don't see new growth and think your plant is dead, scratch off the bark with your fingernail. If it's brown underneath, it's dead. You might need to replace it. If it's green, leave it alone and give it more time. It will probably grow. Cut out any dead branches from your plants. Now is the time to clean up any frost-damaged plants like lantana or hibiscus. You can also prune your landscape shrubs. To help plants recover and encourage new growth, I'm feeding my plants and trees with Nutrient Plus, an insect-based biostimulator. I apply directly to trees and then water well. For plants, I dilute 1 part with 4 parts water. Our seasons are short, and this helps plants get off to a good start. Thinning fruit trees is one of those tasks that feels wrong but makes a huge difference in the quality of your harvest. If you want big, delicious fruit, you have to thin them. Most trees set more fruit than they can support, which leads to small, crowded, lower quality fruit. Thin early and often. Leave about 4 to 6 inches between each one. If fruit is touching, that's a sign it needs to be thinned. Come back in a couple of weeks and thin again. You will thank me at harvest time. Lavender is at its peak in early spring, and March is the perfect time to harvest. The best time to cut lavender is when the buds are just starting to open. Cut stems and hang bundles upside down in a shaded, well-ventilated area to dry. Trim your herbs by about 1/3 and feed with compost and worm castings. This encourages fresh, new growth. If you see dead wood at the base, just cut above where new green growth is emerging. If mint or lemon balm has outgrown its container, divide the plant to prevent overcrowding. Lemongrass grows quickly. I like to give it a good trim each spring. This removes any frost damage, keeps it a manageable size, and encourages fresh, healthy growth. I'm cutting mine back to about 1 foot tall and removing dead or dried out stalks. Save some of the trimmed stalks to use fresh or dry them for later. If your lemongrass is overgrown or crowded, spring is a good time to divide it. To divide lemongrass, gently dig up a section and try to keep the roots intact. Then you can replant it in a different area or share with friends. Remove bolted, cool season crops to make way for spring planting. You can feed them to your chickens or add to compost. Leaving the roots in the soil adds organic matter and prevents disturbing the soil. Leave cool season herbs like cilantro, dill, and fennel to bolt for the pollinators. Want a beautiful spring? Once you see new growth, it's time to feed your roses. Use a liquid fish emulsion for roses less than a year old. And an organic granular rose food for established roses. And then water well. Here's why you should mulch roses. Adding a thick layer of compost or wood chips helps conserve moisture, keeps weeds down, and helps control pests and diseases. Weeds grow fast in spring, and catching them early makes a huge difference. Got weeds? Don't use chemicals. Instead, use these 3 ways to get rid of them before they go to seed. If your soil is soft, grasp the weed at the base and pull slowly to remove the full root. A hula hoe is perfect for rocky areas. Slice just under the surface. It's quick and easy. For sidewalks or stubborn areas, a weed torch is an effective, chemical-free way to kill weeds. Only use it when the ground is damp to avoid fire risk. Spring is here. There's plenty to do before the heat sets in. Don't forget to download the free checklist on my website, growinginthegarden.com. Let me know what you're doing in your garden this month. I'll be back next month with more garden tips for April. If you would like to learn more, consider joining Growing in the Garden Academy. I teach a live online course every month about seasonal topics, and members have access to recordings of all past classes. Academy members also receive my garden journal, what I'm planting, harvesting, and doing in my garden, delivered to their inbox every 2 weeks. I hope to see you there. Wait, right? Call out though, let me know. No. Tips, that's what it was, okay.